Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Critical Mass. Yes, I know we're back on Zoom. That's right, because one of those two is on vacation. And so we
And
have
it's not me.
Mark. Although Mark is in space, he's not on vacation. So we're going to do a little video today. We're going to give you some recommendations of what to stream right now when we're all still stuck at home, can't go out, everything's a mess. So we're going to give you two recommendations each, either a TV show to binge watch or catch up on, an oldie but a goodie, or a movie. And so, yeah, if you're at all interested in something to watch because you're absolutely bored, stay tuned for our recommendation coming up right after this. All right, Mark, what movie or TV show would you like to recommend for the folks out there?
Okay, so I'm actually going to go onto Amazon Prime, and I'm going to recommend a show that we watched out of the blue because we were out of things to watch. We watched a show called Superstore. Have you heard of it?
Superstore?
Superstore. It's okay, and so it's kind of like it's a Costco. It's like Office, like The Office in Costco. Okay? And so the store is called Cloud9. It's a big box store, and it just sort of revolves around the staff at this store, and then they've got all kinds of crazy situations that happen, and it's pretty funny. They have a good cast playing. One of the guys from like Kids in the Hall. I mean, he's older now, but he's like the manager of the store.
I think I've seen it on regular TV.
It's very, very possible. We've been watching it on Prime. One of the main characters in the show, I think his name is Ben Feldman. I was watching it, and he's a really, really likable guy. But I'm looking at his mannerisms, and I'm listening to his voice, and I'm saying there's something really, really familiar about this guy. He could actually pull off a Ferris Bueller.
For your Ferris Bueller remake.
If they were to do like a series, like bring it back for TV or something, he could play a really good Ferris Bueller because his mannerisms, his look, his voice, it's all Ferris Bueller-ish, and I really like that.
All right. How many episodes? Like how many seasons?
I'm not sure how many seasons there are. We're, I believe, on season 3 watching it, so we're just going through episode by episode.
Yeah. All right. And you're still watching it on season 3, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. So, but it's a really fun show to watch. You really get into the characters. They've actually done some character development, and they've delved deep into some of the characters, and it's a really you connect with them.
All right.
It's a good show.
Okay, Paul, what do you got for us?
Okay, I think mine is also on Amazon Prime, and it's an oldie. And I can't believe anybody hasn't seen this. If you haven't seen this, I can't believe it. But it's Supernatural, and I think this is a must-see for everybody.
Haven't seen it. I have yet to. I know it's there. I have yet to watch an episode.
Here's the thing about Supernatural before you really get into it, is I have attempted to watch it. I've watched the first episode. Is it a serious show or is it a spoof show? I don't know.
Okay, so I was looking for something to watch one day, and I watched the first episode, and I said, been there, done that. Okay. Understand that this is the first episode, and you may go through like 5 episodes before it finds its groove. Okay. But let me tell you, after those 5 episodes, you're on track to have one of the best series ever. It is it's a family that's not necessarily close with each other, and they're off and they're fighting demons and vampires and other monsters in the world that pop up, and nobody knows that these demons and monsters exist except the monster hunters. And so these guys are monster hunters, and they have lore to go by. The monsters killed their mother, and now they're out for revenge. And after those 5 episodes, you love the characters. Sam and Dean, you're on the road with them, and I have t-shirts with them now. I have mugs with them. There's 14 seasons, and they go from hunting ghouls and skeletons and ghosts to actually in the middle of this war between heaven and hell, where demons aren't what you think they are and angels aren't what you think they are. They talk with God. They talk with the king of hell. It's 14 seasons of epic television. There's going to be a couple of seasons here and there where you're saying, well, that one wasn't as good as the last season. But not as good is still better than a lot of the crap that's out there. If you haven't seen Supernatural and you're okay with like ghosts and monsters and stuff, you have to watch this. It's out there for everybody, and it's epic.
So it's basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer with these guys.
Well, I never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'll say it's that, but it's not campy. It doesn't look like it's made for television. It's very high quality filming and acting.
So when you say they hunt vampires, are they like blood-sucking vampires or sparkling vampires?
No, they're not.
Because that would be cruel to hunt sparkling vampires.
They're not Twilight vampires, and they're not Dracula vampires. There's something in between.
In between. But,
yeah.
Well, I've heard nothing but good things about the show. I even think I got you like their car for Christmas one year, right? They drive the same car all the time.
Yeah, they're in, like Dean is in love with his Impala car. It's like an old Impala, and it's a character in the show too. But I was gonna say something and now I forget.
The car is a character?
Well, he just really loves his car. That's
it's like the General Lee in Dukes of Hazzard. It's technically a character. It's a well-known thing of the show, right?
Okay, yeah.
And honestly, go past the first 4 or 5 episodes. They're going to be all right. They're not going to be like the greatest thing to hook you. But midway through the season, you're in for 13 and a half seasons of glory.
Okay.
Of glory. All right. So for my recommendation, I'm going to give you a Netflix movie. And this is more like one to watch with your significant other. It's a lot more of a chick flick than I normally would recommend. But I watched the first one, and this is the second part of the movie. It continues on, and it's called The Kissing Booth. And it's just a teenage movie with some characters that I found some of the characters in it it was like a funny spoof of high school and then now college and university and that, where they take kind of like sometimes like instead of going the bully route, they go the over non-bully route where everyone's cheering on and everyone knows everyone's little, if somebody has a blindfold on and the girl's going up and she's blindfolded at the kissing booth and everyone wants them to get together. Everybody in the school knows they want them to get together, and they're all holding their breath like that. And it's so campy, but it's actually kind of like charming in its own way. Like it doesn't take itself seriously, and it has a lot of really dumb jokes in it with other side characters.
I'm going to be honest with you, Don.
That doesn't sound like your kind of movie.
I'm not quite sure this is one for me.
The girl is very attractive. Does that help?
Yeah, but she's 14.
No, she's not.
High school.
22. No.
Oh, Don's done his research.
Like, if you look back at movies of the past that people liked of this kind of like Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore, it's along that kind of line of a comedy. So it's something that's it's not dramatic. You're not going to get upset with the movie. You're going to have some chuckles. Your girlfriend or wife is going to enjoy it. Your husband is not going to be angry with it. There's sports in it. It's kind of like a mix, and you won't get upset. And it's the second one. So if you watch the first one, it's out now. It just came out this week on Netflix. So, yeah, believe it or not, I enjoyed the movie. And it's just fun.
You said this is a movie. The first one came out and the next one's coming out?
No, the first one was called The Kissing Booth. This one's called The Kissing Booth 2. So this is the continuation of the story. what happened from the first one.
Sounds
And
like
so-
it's targeted towards like preteen.
Not preteens. I'd say college, university age. Absolutely. And young adults.
Oh, really?
It's a younger crowd. And I'm 57-year-old man, and I thought it was funny in a lot of parts. I didn't groan a lot in this movie, whereas some, romantic comedies, But this didn't take itself seriously enough that you would do that. It was just fun and lighthearted.
Yeah, because I've seen the previews of it because it comes up on the recommended stuff, but only because it's a new movie.
Yeah, well, watch the first one first. The first one's still better, but
it just I don't know. I think I watched the preview, but it never really captured me.
well, like I said, it's not for everybody, but it's something that you might not have considered. It's not that bad. All right, Mark, give us your second choice.
Okay, my second choice was actually not my pick. It was my wife's pick because we watched it together, but she really
Magic
enjoyed
Mike?
it. No.
Oh, okay.
It's actually another series. I believe it was on Netflix called Hollywood. No? Doesn't
No.
do anything for you? Okay, so Hollywood, basically it's about the breaking into the Hollywood movie industry back in like the 30s or 40s, like way back when the pictures were just starting to boot up, and it's about basically the first African American on screen as a lead role. It's about females having a lead role, which you didn't see back then, and it was. I'll be honest, like with today's political climate and social climate, I thought, wow, this was perfectly timed. Like this show was perfectly timed to coincide with all of this before, and it was filmed obviously before everything that's going on was going on. But it was a really enjoyable show. It's about there's aspects of like homosexuality in Hollywood and how nobody knows about it. It's sort of, but everybody is. It's about basically all of the cliche stuff that we know about today, but it's all in one movie. And it was actually quite or not one movie, but one series, and it was quite well done.
Well, I'm going to be quite honest now, and I'm getting really tired of all these things that are preaching social values to me.
And absolutely, this
sounds
does
like
that.
It's a lot of that.
It is a lot of that, but it was well done.
Oh,
Now,
well done preaching.
Yeah.
It was well done preaching. And I'll like seriously, there were some points where I was doing some eye rolls. Okay, watching it, I was eye rolling. I was like, oh, seriously, but it was well done. I'll give them props for that.
Now, when you say that, it picks up the women's issues and the African American issues of trying to get through in Hollywood and stuff like that, and the LGBT community, do you think it was overplayed as if this was everywhere and it was just hush, hush, hush? Or do you think it was real? Were they portraying it as the way it actually was?
I think they might have been overblowing a lot of it. Okay, so basically what it boils down to is these young group of wannabe actors and actresses. They move to Hollywood obviously to try to make a name for themselves, trying to get some part-time work here and there wherever they can, where they come across a script written by a black man. Okay, and so the script was submitted and it was read. They liked the script. They're, oh yeah, well, let's make this into a movie. Let's do it. Until they find out that the writer was black. And then they were like, oh, well, we can't put a black man's name on it. And then so there's that drama that was going on. There's the drama where the big producer, the movie owner, who's going to make the movie, says, okay, well, no, that's going to destroy our studios. We can't do that. But he has a medical condition. He goes into a coma. His wife takes over the business and that's something you wouldn't have seen, right? The woman leading the business back then. And so she decides, well, yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make this movie anyway while he's in a coma. Take the risk.
Okay. So basically, this is a fictional story of what somebody feels may
Yeah,
have
it's not
taken place back
it's
then. It's not
not a
based on
documentary.
fact.
No, it's not a documentary at all.
Okay. That's what you made it sound like a little bit at the beginning, that this was kind of like a fact-based show on
They've
how
just sort of
in the past.
squeezed all of these issues into
All
a
right.
little series.
All right,
Like
so
10 episodes.
it's a fictional story about that time and era. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, I get it. All right, Paul, what do you got for us? Number 2.
Okay, well, I'm going off the rails against the rules. And while on vacation, all I'm doing here really is when I'm not outside, I'm eating and I'm watching stuff on TV that I've never seen before. Because I don't watch TV at home. It's either Netflix or movies or Prime or whatever. And I came across a sitcom that's been on for a while, and it's called Moms. Or Mom.
Mom.
Yeah.
Just Mom.
Yeah,
And-
I know.
And I'm telling you, I've never laughed so much in a long time. It's a dysfunctional family. There's, I guess, 3 generations. There's a daughter, a mom, and a grandma. And the mom and the grandma grew up and they were just addicted to dope and alcohol. And now they're recovering and going to meetings and trying to create a new life. And there's relapses and a lot of their friends are in these meetings. And it's just complete dysfunctional mayhem, but it is so funny.
You know, the mom in that series is like 6'5", right? She's like massively tall in real life.
So Allison Janney is the grandma, and you would know her from The West Wing. That's where I think she got her big stardom. She was a press secretary there, and I loved her since then. And I was happy to see that she was in this show with Anna Faris, and hilarious. Like you're not going to ha 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 for 30 minutes, but it is just so fun to watch and refreshing. And it's basically an all-female cast with the odd male cameo here and there. So I would say if you're in Canada, you can probably find it on City TV. If you're in the States, I don't know where you're going to find it. It's on regular TV. So it's got to be in reruns somewhere. Check it out. It's fun.
It's on 2 shows a night on Canadian TV every night. So I imagine it's on that way in the States as well. So, okay, yeah, I binge watched it. I've seen every episode. I will not watch it on a regular basis, but all of a sudden I'll start binging a show and it'll be like that. It's fun. In that. But yeah, considering it's all about drugs and addiction and...
well, it's not about that.
No, but I mean, like their whole character is based around that, right? Recovering from all that stuff and all their the grandmother was a horrible person. She steals from her daughter and moves, all that stuff. And then they come together.
That's definitely the show subject. Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely, if you're having a version of that kind of stuff, you can keep an eye on it.
And it has some pretty big actors. You have Allison Janney of Anna Faris, Octavia Spencer. You know her. She was in the recent horror movie where she invites all the high school kids to her party. I don't know what the name of it is, but pretty well-known actors that you've seen in the movies are now on this show and TV. So it's quality.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a horrible year so far. Obviously, 2020 has not been the year everyone was hoping it would be. People are stuck at home, and all you hear on the news is scary garbage, rioting, people arguing, divisiveness everywhere. So what do you need? You need a laugh. And Netflix has so many stand-up comedian live shows on their TV. I just binge watched Jimmy Carr, Ricky Gervais, and Dave Chappelle. I found Richard Pryor's one of his original stand-ups, and the great Delirious with Eddie Murphy. That's on there as well. There are days and days worth of stand-up comedians out there on Netflix. And I just put it on, I said, play all. And I'm working away and I'll hear the joke and I'll just start giggling away while I'm sitting here working. It is so nice to not think about anything political going on or the virus or health reasons or anything. Just listen to comedians talk and make jokes and don't care what the subject matter is. Because comedians are going to tell you a joke and it doesn't matter if it offends you or not. They don't care. And I'm okay with that because it's meant to be humorous. And so, you know.
It's too bad now that we can't have stuff like that because everything has to be filtered through this political correctness lens. And back then, it didn't matter. They weren't out to offend people, but they played on stereotypes that everybody found humorous. Whether it was a stereotype about white people or black people or Chinese people or rich people or poor people, people understood that these were just stereotypes that you can send a message through humor and you can enjoy it and have a giggle, and you don't get that anymore.
Yeah. And that's why I said, that's why I mentioned some of these guys. If you listen to, you know, Dave Chappelle, he's gonna tell you exactly what he thinks. Ricky Gervais doesn't care about politically correct at all. And Jimmy Carr, if you've never listened to Jimmy Carr, you probably would recognize his laugh. He's that kind of laugh and that's literally how he laughs. Like this. And I just, what? And he goes, people comment on me saying that, you know, that laugh is made up. And I go, why would I make that laugh up? He says, no, that. And if you watch him on some of it, he has an appearance on a British TV show. I think it's 8 out of 10 Cats is the name of the show. And they have these comedians on board and they ask questions and they just play games and make fun of each other. Some of the stuff they come up with on that show, and they're just insulting each other. And it's the most unpolitically correct stuff you ever would listen to in your world. They're talking about stuff like we edited out tonight all the time. So, but yeah, just to get away from the mindset and get back to having just fun in life, start watching some of the stand-up comedians. Especially, like, there's just so many.
I'm not sure if I saw it on Netflix or if I started watching it on Amazon Prime, but do you remember An Evening at the Improv?
All the time, yeah.
That streams on one of those services, so
yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat.
Do they have the old ones like Steve Martin and Andrew Dice Clay?
They do? I didn't see Andrew Dice Clay, but I have seen the Steve Martin pop up on Netflix and some other older comedians. You won't see Bill Cosby right now, but they did have, he was there at one point. Although if you go to, I think, Amazon Prime or Apple, you will see The Cosby Show is still there. So, but yeah, there you go. So our recommendations are, in a nutshell, Kissing Booth 2, if you're into a light comedy and not wanting to think too much. Stand-up comedians. We have Hollywood. We
Superstore.
have Mom. We have Supernatural. And we have, what was the first one you mentioned?
Superstore.
Superstore. I think I've seen Superstore too. I said like 6 or 7 episodes or something like that. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Just some recommendations that you might not have bothered with, or you might have seen the show and then said, you know what, I haven't seen that show in a long time. Like Mom has been on, I think, 6 years now. Supernatural, 13 years. And if you ever go back and you watch some of those old stand-up comedians like Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, and they are absolutely hilarious, even to this day, with the humor they had way back then. And we're talking 30 years. So why not check some of that stuff out? Let us know what you guys think we should binge watch and take a look at when we're bored as well. Doesn't matter what it is, Apple, Netflix, Amazon Prime, let us know. And if it's on TV, if it's a show you're watching currently and we haven't mentioned it, let us know, because we're always looking for stuff on TV, because right now it doesn't seem to be much. So if you guys know what it is, let us know. And yeah, until next time, maybe check out some more of our other content down below, and we will see you all on the channel.